this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. So nice to be back here with you and getting back into a regular routine of posting videos. Had a very long break, but October's been more or less a washout for me, but I am back now, and I'll hope to be bringing you at least 2 videos a week, if not 3, from now on. So watch this space, see if I can keep it up, but hopefully. Feeling a lot better now, almost back to normal, so thank you to all those people that have asked. This is our card for today. I posted it at the weekend for a blog hop that was a fall based blog hop. I had just bought this stamp set, having seen some lovely Christmas cards made with the wreath as a Christmassy wreath, and I just had to have it. But then this fall or autumn themed blog hop came up, and I thought, actually try it in browns and oranges and it could look quite nice, so I thought that worked quite well. So I'm just going to show you how I made it. I've got the dies as well. I think they're called, oh, they're something wreaths, can't remember. Stampin' Up are actually changing their policy. I think I read this, I hope I didn't dream it, that they're going to call the dies and the stamp set the same thing, because I find it really confusing. You have a die set that's called Cottage wreaths and the dies are called something else, so it's not always obvious which set they go with, but they're going to start calling them the same, which I think will be really helpful. I think it would help if they did the DSP as well, because again, I forget what the names of the DSP. You expect, you know, expect to have a lot of memory space, us demos, and we don't always. Anyway, let's get on. So I'm going to start off now. I just put together some colours that I thought were quite autumnal. So I had these colours together. So I've got soft suede, crumb cake, mango melody, and then some basic white. Could have used very vanilla. That might have kept with the tonal palette a bit, but I'm going to stick with whisper white for today. So first of all, I've got my normal card blank, which is 15 centimetres by 21 centimetres. 15 down there, and then we're going to score it at 10.5. So it's basically almost half of A4 sheet. It's not quite long enough to get 2 15cm card bases, but just about. So I tend to do 115 and 114.5 just so that I have even numbers. Otherwise you end up with some fairly odd numbers to work with, and if you're trying to do layers and things, it works out a bit complicated. So that's our card base. That's all we need to do with that for the moment. And then we need to make our wreath. So I've got a little bit of spare card here to stamp my wreath onto, a little bit of basic white. So we are going to stamp in Mango Melody this wreath, and this is a what do they call it, distinctive stamp set, which means that you get different effects. So some of it will look darker and some of it will look lighter with just one stamp. So you can see this leaf is much lighter than this one, so it's quite effective. So here is my stamp set, my stamp, and you can see I've put a black dot on mine there, and that's going to go to the top because that will help me line up the die later on. I'll show you what I mean when we come to die cutting it. So we are just going to stamp this. Doesn't matter where I stamp it because it's going to be die cut, this one. There, can you see what I mean about the distinctive stamp sets? That they've got some lines, so you get a kind of watercolour effect just from one pass. Okay, so we've done that one. And then we're then going to take soft suede and we're going to stamp this twiggy one over the top. So it's this twiggy one here. I'm going to stamp that over the top in soft suede. And actually I haven't marked this one with my dot yet. I need to do that because I will eventually need to. There is a die to die cut this one out on its own, so I will need to do that, but I haven't done it yet. So I'm just going to try and position it. I don't think for doing this it matters too much which way around it goes, so it just goes there. Yeah, lovely. And then I'm going to die cut that. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to stamp the bow, because then I can die cut this all together. So this is the stamp for the bow. So I'll just put that up in the corner there. Don't think I need to do anything else for die cutting. So we'll leave it there. And then we'll find the dies that we need. So this is the die that we need for this one. And that should, because I've got the dot at the top of the stamp, that should easily go there. like that. The shape of this inner helps you if you're trying to line it up without having put a dot on your stamp set, on your stamp. The shape of the inner, there's a big dent going in there, and that helps you line it up, I found. There we go. So just a little bit of washi tape there, and then I just need the now there's 2 bows. This one, which gives you some embossing on it, which is what you don't want, because I'm not doing a card, just a die cut bow. I'm doing a stamped bow, and I just want to just cut out my stamped image. So it's that one that I need. Another little bit of washi tape. I reuse my washi tape, so I've just got little bits stuck all over my craft room. Right, that's all that done. Let's just put this through. I'm going to cut. I'm going to remove this bit of washi tape, put it round here a bit, and then I can cut, and then this will go through the mini cut and emboss, which is what I need. There we go. There's my mini. My very, very warm bottom plate, and I've just started using a new top plate because my other one was very cracked. Haven't thrown it away because it does still work, but it is very cracked. Right, just push that through without wobbling the grid paper too much. There we go. So there's my bow, and there's my wreath. Put that to one side. Yeah, so that's our wreath ready to go on our card. Now I need a piece of cardstock to stamp our wreath onto, so I've got another piece of basic white here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp that wreath again, because then I'm going to line up some other stamps around it. So I'm going to put this in here. Don't need to stamp the twiggy one because I just need this as a guide, so that you can see I've stamped these like little fir branches, fir twigs round the edges. So that's another stamp from that stamp set. If I can find it, here it is. 2 little fir branches, twigs, and then I just want this to come a little bit outside my wreath so that you can see it once I've stuck my die cut wreath over top. So I'm just doing them so that they will poke out. So it just gives a little bit of more dimension to your wreath. You can use this stamp to do a wreath on its own actually. Just do a wreath going round, mark a circle and use this. So many different ways to build wreaths with this set. I might do a separate video actually and show all the different ways to just do wreaths with this set. There we are. I'm going to leave it like that because there's a bit of a gap there, but I think it will look too cluttered if I put it in. I can always put the bow over that bit where it doesn't quite meet. There. And then this needs to be cut down to, I think it's 8 centimetres, but I'm just going to measure and check. I think I cut it down to 8 centimetres. Yes. So take my cutter. And so I'm going to go there. So it's just a bit of eyeballing really. So you want the wreath to be in the centre. You could start off with an 8 centimetre piece of card and stamp in the middle of it if you wanted to. Might make life easier. And then, but this way works as well. Right, there we go. Now it's 8 centimetres that way, just about. Might just trim off another little bit. And it's slightly over 8 centimetres this way, I think. So I'm just going to trim another little bit off there. There, tiny bit. Right, that's my wreath in a square. So now I'll leave my trimmer out because I need 2 more squares of cardstock. I need one of soft suede, which is going to be 8.5 centimetres squared. That's going to be my first mat. So 1/2 centimetre bigger than my basic white square, which is the measurements, I quite often go up in 1/2 centimetre increments, so that will sit on there like that. And then a slightly bigger one, 9 centimetres from Mango Melody. There we go. Don't know what the weather's doing where you are. I'm recording this on Sunday and it's absolutely been bucketing down. I've been to the gym already and there's so much water on the roads, I can't tell you. Very, very heavy rain. Right, okay, so we're beginning to be ready to put all this together. Take all the rubbish out of the camera shot. So we're going to glue our panel onto our soft suede first of all. Don't know how I've got covered in ink. This Tombow has been playing up, so I'm going to try using my fine tip. Oh, that's playing up as well. Excellent. Let's try another fine tip. One of these must work. There we go. This one's working. I decant glue into these little fine tip containers, mostly for my quilling, to be honest. You need tiny amounts of quilling. Nothing looks worse than quilling with loads of glue marks all over it, so I use them mostly for my quilling, but they're always here on my desk. I just need to clean out my Tombow or get a new one. That one seems to be a bit clogged up. Right, and position that, and because you're using wet glue you can just move it around until you're happy with the placement, and then like so, and then a bit more. There we go. And that mounts onto there. And this is then going to mount onto the card blank that we made earlier, which is here. Like so. And like I said, that bit is going to be the bow, so that doesn't matter that that's a little bit. I'm going to turn it over because that's got a smoother edge there. And I'm not putting it too near the top because it's quite central. Actually, I'm going to put a little mark on the card there that I don't want to see, so we'll just move that so that it's inside. And again, my fine tip glue. There we go. Like so. And just position it where you want, not too near the top, not too near the bottom, but quite centrally. Like so, and just make sure it's straight before it dries completely. Then this wreath is going to go over top, so you can try and work out where this is if you want to. Is that, let's have a look. That's got a little loose leaf. I'm going to try and find, is it there? Yes, I think it is. So just put, oh no, maybe not. There we go, no. If you look, I'm looking at the centre here, there we go, that's it. So I'm just going to put a little pencil mark so that when I come to stick this down, I'm going to put a pencil mark here. I will just rub that out when we come to glue it on. So that's like that. So just a few dimensionals. Of course, you can just go with the stamped image. You don't have to do all of this. You could just stamp your twigs over there. Go with the stamped image. You don't have to do a die cut one. Maybe you haven't bought the dies, you've just bought the stamp set. That's fine. Right, I've got some dimensionals here that I've cut in half. I'm going to go ahead and use those. You don't need whole ones, and they make them go a little bit further. And in these times of high inflation and cost of living crisis, we need to save as many of our pennies as we can. It's always a bit dull buying things like dimensionals, I always think, because you know they don't get you anywhere. It's much more exciting to be buying dies and stamps and things like that. Right, just take the backing off these. I don't know how I've got ink all over myself here, and it's transferring to my grid paper. No idea how I did that. There we go. And then where's my pencil mark? It was there, so it goes on there, and that will cover up the one you stamped before, but the little fir branches will show outside. Just rub my pencil mark out, and then we're going to stick our bow. And I'm not putting this on dimensionals because I don't want too much. Yeah, so we're just going to glue the bow onto the wreath like that, onto the side there. Like I said, you've got two choices of bow. You can do a stamped one and die cut it out, or you can just do a die cut one which has some embossing on it, which just gives it a bit more interest. And then I just highlighted my wreath. Oh, first of all, I just did a message from the same stamp set, just a little hello. I wasn't sure whether this was going to be a thank you card, a birthday card, and I thought hello covered all bases. So there we go. Just stamp that there, and then I just cut it out by hand. You can use your trimmer if you wanted to, but I just cut it. Put my stamp pad away, otherwise I'll leave more soft suede everywhere. There we go. There we are. And that's going to go just down here. And the last little finishing touch on the front of my card. Gosh, my stomach is really rumbling. I'm going to have some lunch when I finish this. Is to put some rhinestones on. So I used our normal. Where are they? Had them out yesterday. What I've done with them. There we are. There's some. Normal rhinestones, and I used the dark soft suede Stampin' Blend, the brush tip, and I just coloured. So I don't know what's happened to this tip of this. I don't feel as if I've used this soft suede one very much, but the tip has really gone really fluffy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think I need 12. I needed 4 sets of 3. Yeah, can you see how that's splayed out? But don't feel as if I've used soft suede. It's not a colour that I go too much. I don't know how it's got so bad. No, not my favourite colour, soft suede, as some of you all know. And there we go. And just to make sure these stick, I'm just going to use a little dob of Tombow, because sometimes the adhesive on the, oh, that's too much. The adhesive on the gems just doesn't last, I find. So I find if I put a little bit of glue, it just makes a bit more of a permanent fix. Little tip for you there. I sent a card and one of the gemstones came adrift before it arrived at its destination. So I'm just a little bit wary. So just a little bit of Tombow just to help secure them. A little dot of Tombow. Oh, I don't know where that one went. It flicked off somewhere. I'll have to do another one in a sec. It's really good having the blends that you can then make your own colour rhinestones, so you don't have to have hundreds of packs of different colours. You can make them as you need them, and of course they coordinate perfectly with Stampin' Up colours. These are coordinating perfectly with the twigs and the fir branches that I've already stamped. Just need to do one more, so that one pinged off into the distance. Because they're alcohol markers, they just put a permanent colour on the rhinestones. Do another section down there. So unusually I have recreated this card exactly as I made the one that was on the blog hop. I don't always do that. Sometimes I change the colour, change the layout a little bit, do tend to change things. This one I've left exactly the same. So we've got 2 cards exactly the same. And then I'm just going to do the same as I did in this one. I just did a little bit of a wreath inside there. So I just need another little bit of Whisper White. I do tend to cut up a lot of Whisper White and keep these 6 inch by 4 inch roughly panels because I use them an awful lot, so I have those cut up ready. So I'm just going to use a bit of scrap paper, although I seem to have ruined my glued paper anyway with ink stains today. And I'm just going to stamp a little bit of the wreath in the corner here, and then go over it with the twiggy one in soft suede as well. Oh, find my rhinestone. My missing rhinestone has showed itself. That'll get used for a different project at some point. There we go. Just put that on there. And that's just a little bit of decoration to go inside. And then I'm going to trim that down to 9.5. And I've got ink on my trimmer here. I don't know how I've got so messy today. Actually, I'm just going to trim that side a little bit because it looks a little bit rough. Just going to make a nice clean cut down there, that's better. And then I'm going to do 9.5 along here. So there'll be a 0.5 centimetre border around this inside the card. And then 14. So this is a whole centimetre smaller than my card, so there'll be a bigger border around the edges. So that's just going to go in there like that. So another little bit of ink. I'm going to have to sort out my blocked glues when I go off camera. There we go. And we are done. Just going to go around that with a bone folder just to get rid of those lips that the trimmer gave us. And there we are. 2 fall cards, autumn themed cards. Hope you like them. Hope that might have interested you in the cottage wreath. Like I said, I've seen some beautiful cards in Christmassy colour. I mean, this could just be changed into Christmassy colours. You could do green, red berries, a different green for the fur. It'd be really nice. I might try that later on. But anyway, that's my fall card or my autumn card for today. Hope you enjoyed watching that. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you've just found me. I try and post at least 2 videos a week now that I'm back and fighting fit. And I'll see you again soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye.